Good day, everybody. This is episode 6 of the Nekozuki Yarns podcast. It is February 22nd, 2015, and I'm Katie. I'm coming to you out of Calgary, Alberta, where we are still in the throes of a very strange winter. Yeah, most of our snow is actually melted, and we're back to being cold though, so who knows. Anyway, this is a knitting podcast. I want to welcome back all of my previous viewers and welcome all my new viewers actually. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy your stay. We are actually getting a very active Ravelry board and I think it's awesome. I love it. I'm trying to build my community a little bit better so that the judgments for being too young to be knitting are a little bit less harsh. Anyway, yeah, this is Knitting Podcast, a little bit about my Etsy shop, although this week there won't be much because there will not be an update till March 9th, so don't worry. I do have lots to share with you though, because last weekend was a long weekend in Alberta, and so I was able to sit down and actually get a whole shawl out in the weekend because it was a bulky shawl, and I'm sorry, I'm just starting patterns on some socks and had to pick out a few stitches. But yeah, so I was able to get lots done. It was a long weekend in Alberta. My husband actually came home early, which was awesome. He's been working 10 and 4 shifts, which are overtime shifts. Means he's up in camp for 10 days and then home for 4 days. Normally his schedule's week in, week out. And so we had both just kind of gotten to the end of our ropes last week, so he came home early, which was amazing. Best Valentine's Day thing he could do for me. And then he, on top of it, took me out for a really nice dinner. So I had a really good long weekend. And got lots of knitting done. He played video games, we hung out. Yeah, it just worked out really nice. I really enjoyed it. And so now we're back to normal. He's got one more 10 and 4 shift, which he's on right now, and then he's supposed to be back to week and week, which would be amazing. I can't wait for it. And so anyway, I did get lots done. I actually got lots cast on because of the design work I was doing. I've started getting cast on-itis. I just want to like go and buy all the yarn and knit all the things that I've got on my list right now, and it's kind of ridiculous how many things I want to knit, which I just don't have time for. But I do have lots to share. So we're actually going to start with, not the socks I've got in my hands, but I actually started the Color Affection. This is my first one. It's wee itty bitty. I just started it yesterday. But I'm doing the fingering weight version. I'm doing a yarn over at the beginning of each row so that I get a little bit more bounce, because I have heard that the top can be really tight. And I have been doing them, like, the increases as make ones right and left, but I think I might switch to the suggestion of knit front backs. Because it's all garter stitch, I don't think you're going to see it, and then I don't have to keep track. I just have to keep track of the rows and, like, how many increases I need to make. Anyway, I'm knitting this out of Ancient Arts fiber, and it is their, sorry, it's their Meow Foundation yarn. So how this works is in Calgary we have what's called the Meow Foundation, and it's they take in cats and they adopt them out. It's basically like an SPCA just for cats, and this yarn goes specifically towards helping support that foundation. So I'll tell you a little bit more. I hope it's not backwards for you guys, because it is for me. I don't think it will be. But yeah, a little bit of the proceeds from each of the skeins sold will actually go towards that foundation. Now I have lots of Calico Cat because I originally thought I was going to knit myself a cardigan out of it. I did the swatch and it turned out that it was a little bit too crazy cat lady for me, but I figure like that, and it was pooling really strangely. So the garter stitch is actually, so the shawl's going to go this way. The garter stitch actually shows off the colors nicer rather than getting so much pooling. And it's the Calico Cat. It's 100% superwash blue-faced Leicester, or BFL, and there's 437 yards in the skein. So I've got enough, I think I've got 6 more skeins. So I've got plans for some socks out of this because it is BFL, and it is nice and like toothy, I guess. Knitting with it is amazing. And then I am going to design a cardigan probably with some cat stripes. I'm super excited for that, and I've just been having to think about it for a bit because I want it a specific way. It will be top down, I know that, but I need to figure out how to exactly to add the stripes in for it. So anyway, that's it in the skein. This is a loose cake because I actually re-caked the yarn so it didn't get too stretched out from sitting on my shelf. And this is being knit on US 6 4.0 millimeter needles. That was just started yesterday. So that was one thing. The next thing that I'm working on is this is what I had in my hands. I'm knitting the simple Skype or skip socks. I literally cast these on last night. I've just got the cuff finished. There, sorry, that's the side that I was just working on. You can't actually see any of the patterning yet. But this is Sweet Georgia Yarns Tough Love Sock, which is, I just looked it up, it's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon mix. I believe the colorway is slate. For some reason I've set aside the tag. It's either slate or charcoal, but looking at the site I think it's slate because it's a little bit lighter gray than the charcoal is. And I'm knitting these on US 1's 2.25 millimeter needles though. Yeah, and Simple Skype Socks are by Adrian Q. And sorry, the Color Affections by Vera Valimaki. And I'm doing the finger green weight. I'm really enjoying how these are knitting up. I did previously use this yarn for my wedding socks in Tough Love in Summer Dusk colorway. And yeah, I like how that knits up in the stitch definition. Like, you can't complain about the stitch definition in these socks. Focus. Oh, maybe. Anyway, so yeah, so working on those. These are going to be for Dallas, so they are going to take a little bit longer. And then the last thing that I am knitting is I'm knitting the Owlet sweater by Kate Davies. And there's babies coming into the family. Well, friend group, I guess. And sorry for any clanking. I'm still on my very messy sewing desk. So I've got the body done. So it's ribbing and 6 inches. And I've got one of the itty bitty sleeves almost done. I love baby knits. They're so fast. And this is so pretty. It's Cascade Yarn Superwash 128. And it is their Royal Purple / 1948 colorway. There's 128 yards per skein. It's squishy. It'll be fantastic. This is the 6-month size, so even though they're going to get it right away, it's a June baby, so it'll actually be better for December, which is perfect. That's 6 months. And then I'm ahead of the game, and the thing that I gift in at Christmas, if I do it, will be something different. Larger, again. I like knitting big for babies just because you never know what size they're going to be when they're born, and it just makes life easier on everybody if they can actually fit for a bit. Oh, and that's 100% superwash merino, so it's super soft too. Like, it's not no slouch yarn here. And it'll be awesome because I don't like giving acrylic knits to babies anymore, so I make sure that I get superwash wool instead. Since acrylic melts and wool doesn't, it's fire retardant. Okay, I forgot my mittens downstairs. I did finish the test mitten, or the mittens that I was writing the pattern up for. They are currently in testing. They'll be in testing until the 28th. That's pretty much all I have to say about them. The pattern should be released. I think I'm planning on releasing the pattern March 9th. I need to get some better action photos of the mittens because right now they're kind of dull and taken just so I could get the pattern out for testing. But they're done. The one thing that I did get done that I'm super excited for is I got the sentiment done. Now, I haven't woven in any ends, and I also have not blocked this yet. But, like, it's huge already, and I haven't done anything else to it. Like, it's it's pretty much my wingspan plus, and it's going to be nice and deep too. I'm so excited to get this blocked. I just haven't taken the time yet because I've been distracted. So anyway, I did alternate skeins because it's Malabrigo Rasta, hand-dyed, kettle-dyed stuff. And it's in the Pagoda colorway. I knitted on the pattern needles. I actually ended up, calls for 320 yards. I probably used 320 yards, but I have quite a bit of one skein left, as well as a bunch of bits downstairs. So I'll be able to knit something else, which is kind of cool, because it is squishy. And I love the color, like, so rich. It's darker than what it's showing up on my screen as. I did alternate, yeah, I already said that. I alternated skeins. I did the first 11 rows of the lace with one skein because I figured that there's enough variation in the pattern that you weren't going to notice that much. And then I started alternating skeins from row 12 up. Anyway, yeah, I started this, well, I started Friday and didn't get it. The lace, for whatever reason, was baffling me. So I restarted Saturday, and I finished it Monday. Almost had it finished Sunday. If I had actually not had so many problems with the lace, I would have had it probably done on Sunday. And there's no problem with the written or the charted pattern as far as I could tell. I didn't use charts, I used the written part. Yeah, it's still really big. But I was just, I don't get lace necessarily right away. I love lace. I love actually knitting it once I get the pattern, but getting there is what gets me. So, but I did finish a couple other things this week. I finished my socks. That's why I have another pair on the needles. These are very, very bright, and that's a little bit more color true there. They are eye-searing. I figure they'll be good for like global or something like that because they're so bright. Regia, it's Regia Yarn Fleur Mania color. It is a 75-25 superwash wool and nylon base. And I did a Wendy Johnson's toe up slip stitch heel, which you can see here. I find these super comfy, or like this heel super comfy. I did these on the last pair of socks that I had, and it seems to be wearing really well. I'll report back on that. I am wearing socks and shoes, so they are going to take a little bit more of a beating, because I like wearing them to work. These need to be blocked and have the ends woven in, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. And they kind of, yeah, they're nice. They're a nice gauge, and they're squishy. So those are done. And the final thing that I finished last week, this is not chronological order, I finished those yesterday actually, like 10 a.m., is the cowl. So this is currently being tested. You can actually still go join the tests group, and I would be more than happy to have you. I do have it set as like 1 or 2 testers, but nobody yet has been able to test it in Yarn Ink Superwash Bulky, and I really would like one person to test it in that at least. Simply because then it can, I can make sure that like the gauge and how much you use is proper, because this is designed for 1 skein of Yarn Ink Superwash Bulky. And it's also why the test is so long, is because Alicia, I know, has to hand dye most things. Most things are dyed to order instead of in stock. Although some of her items are in stock if you go out and check her website, which is yarnink.com. Super easy. Yeah, this was knit out of the Starry Night. I actually like this better than the first cowl I knit. I lost my first cowl. I was so upset. But this is the replacement one, and it actually shows up better because the, I like how the variegation shows up in the slip stitches, and how the purl stitches actually give it, like, yeah, it's just pretty. I like it. It's super simple, super fast. It probably takes a couple evenings. I would say 3 to 4 hours max. I think I said about 5 in the test. You can find the test information on the Ravelry group. It's also kind of reversible if you want it to be. It's just like, look at how pretty that is. Alicia does an amazing job hand dyeing. I need to get more of her yarns eventually here. Okay, so all of that. Now I forgot to write down the name of the author of this book. I didn't actually get much read last week because Dallas was home, but that, like, not complaining. The one thing I did get read and finished is called Rebel Belle. I'm just looking up the author here. Yeah, it's Rachel Hawkins, and it's part of a new series. The next one will be coming out soon. April 7th apparently, which is called Miss Mayhem, which is Rebel Belle 2. It was okay. Yeah, I finished it. If I'm really not liking something right now, I don't finish it anymore. There's no point. The one I am really enjoying right now and I want to go back to reading is The Floating Islands. And that's by Rachel Neumeier. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Gorgeous cover. That's mostly what attracted me to this. It was suggested to me via Goodreads. But basically this kid's parents die in a tragedy. He goes to this magic island where there are men flying in the air. He meets his cousin who wants to do something that she can't because she's a girl. And he wants to become a flyer even though he's not technically from this island. And so far it's been gorgeous and amazing. Read it. And I'm going to pause right here because my camera's giving me the orange light, and then we'll go back to everything else. One moment. Alright, so we're going to continue. My battery light is flashing, so we're going to do this as quickly as possible. We are currently still watching Sailor Moon Crystal. I haven't restarted Pandora Hearts, but I know I have to here soon. I watched Dallas play Monster Hunter Ultimate 3 for most of the last weekend, which was really fun because that let me knit that lace. And we're playing Mario Kart 8, which is awesome. I'm doing really well. I'm not much of a gamer, but I do enjoy playing video games, and that's right up my alley, apparently. Who knew? Let's see. Okay, so the next two things. I have stash enhancement. A very special little girl is turning 1 very soon, like 2.5 months. So I got her yarn. I'm going to knit the Lizzie dress by Tyga Hilliard out of this. I originally had that green, but the problem was it wasn't enough, so I've got 2 skeins of this now, so that I can actually knit it and she can wear it for as long as possible. This is Manos del Uruguay Alegria. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% polyamide or nylon. Fingering, it'll be gorgeous. It's just variegated enough that it'll be super pretty. So I'm excited for that. And then the other thing I got was pattern writing for knit designers by Kate Atherley out of Toronto. And I'm going through and I'm trying to make sure that my patterns are as clear and as good as I can get them before I actually get them first to test and then out to all of you guys. Okay, alright, so we had a pattern draw for 100 members. Now I said that I was going to put up 300 to 400 member, I think. But we're so close to 500 and it went up so fast. I'm going to wait for the 500 mark and then it will be something special out of my shop. I haven't decided what yet, but we'll see. It might actually be a gift certificate for something. I think that would work the easiest actually. Anyway, on that note, why I'm saying this is because we do have the 100 member draw. I did do the draw earlier, so I didn't kill my phone, and it was, sorry, I'll get the grease off of it. Put it this way. So it was 2 to 57 and the result was 44. Who is D, which is, this is just D. That's her username. Post number 44. She says she hasn't knit any tops yet, but hopefully this will help. The question was if you've ever knit a summer top, because I've actually probably knit more summer tops than winter tops, and my first design project was actually a summer top. So D, if you can PM me on Ravelry, I will get that pattern out to you. It's a pattern of your choice under $6 USD. So that was it, and then yeah, the next drawing will come up at 500 members just because everything went so fast. I wasn't anticipating that. Alright, next shop update will be March 9th. I'm going to be sewing and showing you updates March 8th. The mitten pattern will be released on March 9th. Cowl pattern should be released around March 23rd, although that's up in the air. My anniversary, like my dating anniversary with my husband, is March 24th. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll release it on that day and there'll be special stuff. just because that cowl pattern, actually the test goes until March 15th, simply because of making sure that maybe someone can knit a version of it in yarn ink. Fingers crossed. If you have some yarn ink stash, it's perfect for it. I would love to see it. Super simple pattern as well. I am working on the sweater. The test for that should go live on the 7th or 8th as well. I have to re-knit like a bit in the shoulders and then the 10 inches for the cowl. And I just haven't gotten the motivation up to do that. But actually I'm feeling like it probably could happen in the next week. So if it goes up earlier, always watch the test knitting thread on Ravelry, because that's where I post them all first. And then you can go through, read the requirements, blah blah blah. That's exactly what it is, nanny nanny nanny. In the test thread that I link to. Okay, so you can find me on social media currently as Nekozuki Yarns, Nekozuki Yarns. I'm on pretty much everything as that, and you can come join the Ravelry group. We're more than happy to have you. Lots of like activity starting to happen there, which is awesome. Yeah, the one thing that might actually be happening in the next couple weeks is I've had some confusion over my name. Lots of people assume that I dye yarn, which is a fair assumption. And it's been mentioned a couple times, and I'm starting to realize that maybe I've caused a lot of confusion in the time that I've had this business. And so I may be going through a name change. Watch for it. I'll let you know. I'll announce it in the Ravelry group as well. It's mostly I'm actually pretty much decided. It will probably be changing. I need to talk to my friend who designed my logos and everything and make sure that she can actually change the second bit of the name, because that's what will be changing. It'll still be Nekozuki. I'm thinking we're going to Nekozuki Knits. But I do need the new logo, and yeah, we're just getting things sorted out. And I have to check my website and see what I can do about that, because that's actually going to be the most difficult. And then everything else to change over, because I will no longer be Nekozuki Yarns. But I'm pretty sure that that will be happening in the next couple weeks. If you have any like adverse comments to that, let me know. But I think it's a good move, because it encompasses my business a lot better than before. Nekozuki Knits kind of covers like the designs and the project bags and the finished products that I also post as well. So yeah. Watch for that. If I suddenly go from yarns to knits, you know why. It's still the same lady. Still me. And as long as it's got that cute little cat logo, that's me pretty much right now. So I hope you guys all have a good couple of weeks. I will see you that first week in March, which is the 7th, 8th. And watch for me on social media. I am around. If you need anything, PM me or message, post in the forum threads on Rav. And yeah. I hope to see you all back later, and we'll chat with you soon. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.